Hello all, welcome back. Thanks for spending some time with me this week. I know everybody has a lot going on, and I really hope that the next 12 minutes and 5 seconds of your life is going to be enjoyable. Also, big shout out to all of the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy yourself, pick up a few tips and tricks, and as always, if you are inspired by anything that I make, please tag me on Instagram. I love to see it. I decided this week I wanted to play around with my scribble sticks on the gel plate, and I'm starting by laying down some masking tape over just some plain mixed media tags. I think they're probably by Ranger. I'm basically like a whore for Ranger. Everything is from them, and I'm using that as a resist. I have laid down some heavy body acrylics. I believe that is Ocean, and I used some bubble wrap to just create some texture. That's probably my favorite thing to do on the gel plate. It just always works well. So now I'm starting with the scribble sticks. This is what I've discovered. After watching all 10 videos on scribble sticks on the gel plate that I could find on YouTube, it was actually Dina Wakley's video that offered the best explanation. A surprise, right? Who would think that the creator of something would be able to best explain it? Anyway, in her video, she specifically says, oh, I don't know what I was doing here. I think I was just trying to be like extra fancy, creative. I didn't even wind up using that. Just disregard that. In her video, she takes the scribble sticks and dips them each time into the water. And as the more that I did this, I learned that there's definitely a little bit of a learning curve. Add more water if you want more watercolory type effects, and less water if you want the scribble stick to be a little bit more dense. So I'll do it a couple more times in the video, and I left all this part in so you could see that, even though I've been talking over top of everything that I'm doing. I hope that you're watching and it's pretty self-explanatory. This tag that I am laying down paint for right here, I don't know what I was thinking. I was trying something different with texture. That's a doily that my mom crocheted. It's okay. She knew what I was going to do with it. And I didn't get it enough texture, so it was just crap. We're not going to use that. But this right here is a really good example of the scribble sticks when you get it right. I have just the right amount of water. You see I'm dipping in between each time, and we're going to pull it. And I think that this is probably one of the prettiest pulls I have ever done. And when I pull that masking tape off, oh, see, there's another one. I actually got 3 pulls off of this. When I pull that masking tape off of that first one, it was amazing. You'll see here in a minute. I don't want to get spoilers, but it looks so good, you guys. I'm excited now. Like, I can't wait to see me pull this masking tape again. Anyway, I did notice just some like feedback. I'm using her second set of scribble sticks when I did this. I get better results with pretty much everything from her second set. I don't know. I really struggle with the first set, almost to the point where I wasn't going to get another one. But, oh, here it is. Look at that tape. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I think I'm going to go back later and actually just do a whole, like, page of these where I just tape down and then make scribble stick gel printed washi tape. It turned out, I don't know. Let me know what you think. What do you guys think about the tape? I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And as I was pulling it, I had like 50,000 ideas of what I could do with this. So here are the tags that I finished, and now we're going to start assembling them. Just a heads up, I've never done this before. I've only ever seen pictures of the type of little assemblage that I'm going to make, and I'll pay for that here in a little bit. Anyway, I'm taking the tape, and I want to save those ones at the top because I have something in mind for those for a future project. But I'm thinking that I want to use the ones on the bottom because I kind of wanted to like play with the theme of the tag. So I have some Dina Wakley stamps. There's a whole bunch. I used, I think, like, I don't know, 7 or 8 from 4 different stamp sets. I'll put a full list of all the supplies used down in the description below. And I've just stamped over top of that tape, and I love that you can just see like the space between the tape lines. I don't know, I just think it works really well with the tag. Now I'm going to start working on assembling all of the tags. This I'm just collaging down, and this was the only one that I did this way first with the collage, and that's because I didn't really think this through. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. Anyway, so while that's setting, I set that aside to dry, and I'm going to move on to tag number 2. This has probably become one of my favorite ways to use the gloss sprays. What I'm getting ready to do, oh, you're going to see me take my ring off here in a second, because if I get gloss spray on my wedding rings, I think my husband will kill me. And I like to set people up for success, and I don't want him to do that. So I like to use it as a stamp, and I think it works beautifully. I like the messy look that it gets. It's not all crisp and clear. It's just, I don't know, it's just really messy and it's nice. Speaking of stamps, that was a wonderful segue. I'm going to use the scribble sticks as a stamp now too, because we are still waiting on archival inks for Ranger to make them. How wonderful would it be to have a palette of Dina Wakley archival inks to stamp over top like this? That would just be amazing. And Ranger, if you're watching, which I seriously doubt anyone is, it must have been awkward for you. You heard everything. Talking to you, Ranger. We're still waiting. Anyway, as you can see, I'm still just going back over top of it. And another thing that I discovered working with the gloss sprays is that the scribble sticks work just as well as the acrylic paint with the gloss spray. Like, all of the products just work beautifully together. They dried wonderfully. They didn't smear. I didn't lose any of the amazing pigment over top of the gloss sprays. They just worked great. I love it when all of my craft supplies come together, like almost like a transformer. You know, like in the Transformers, all of the different body parts come together and form the super transformer. If there's any nerds watching this, I apologize. Please don't pull my nerd card. I just can't think of the name right now. But that's kind of like what these products do. They all come together and form this super craft supply. That is amazing. I just talked right over top of everything that I was doing with that tag. I apologize. I hope you could follow along. Anyway, I'm going back and I'm still stamping because I had 5 of these to do. And this is something that I noticed while I was doing this. Again, there's a learning curve. You have to have the right amount of water. I see some people put them down dry and then squirt over top of it. I preferred, after a little bit of experimentation, to dip them in the little cup of water, get them slightly wet, and then rub them over the stamp. That's how I got the best results. If you guys have another tip or trick, then I would love to hear it. But for me, this is what works the best with the outcome, I guess, that I like the best. You see, and I'm not using a lot of water. That tag was the one with the like the magic washi tape, and that is my favorite one of all. It's just gorgeous. Now we're going to go back and try to fix this, where I got a little ahead of myself and I glued stuff down before I really had a plan. That's not great. Neither is that second one. That's okay. This is how we fix that. I'm going to use the gloss sprays like a stamp again. And I think after using the white gloss spray now pretty routinely for 3 weeks, I haven't had any problems. I just smeared that, by the way, and that's why that tag came out so good. It's because I smeared it by accident. So, happy accident. We had a Bob Ross moment right there together. Oh, our first Bob Ross moment. Anyway, the white, I've noticed, for some reason, the little marble ball kind of gets stuck sometimes down in the bottom of the barrel. It's the only one that gets stuck like that. So I have to whack it against my desk. Like, I'm pretty rough on my craft supplies to get it unstuck sometimes. And that's the only one that's really doing that. Now we've got them all finished, and I'm sorry it cut off that little one on the end. And we're going to put them together. However, this is me realizing that I did not do this correctly. I was supposed to do, apparently, the back side of the first one, because that's really the only one that you can see when you flip it over. I never put I don't know what this is even called, like a triptych, I think, a trifold book. I don't know. There's 5 of them, so it's not tri. I've never done this before. I've only ever seen pictures, so I was really winging it. And instead of going back and schlepping out all of my tag stuff, gel plate stuff again, I dug through my stash of previously gel printed papers and just stuck that down with some washi at the top. And fortunately, because I stick to the same color palette, it matched. So I did this with all 5 of the tags. I'm only showing you the first one because it's pretty, I mean, once you do the first one, it's self-explanatory. Like it's the same thing. I just put washi on the front and back and left a little bit of a gap in between so that it would flip and fold out like so. So now I needed something to put on the tags. I have a little poem that I stumbled across and I really liked it, and I was like, well, I'll just cut it up. I don't know. I didn't want to spend like the whole rest of my afternoon making a single focal point for each tag. That is some leftover washi tape from one of the tags where we pulled earlier, and I just used that to kind of back the little quote that I've cut out. So for each tag though, there does need to be some type of neutral, and I'm going to use torn up pieces of collage paper. I cut all that out. I didn't really think you guys needed to see me glue down black collage paper over top of everything. Once I did have that glued down, I went over the little quote, the broken up pieces of poem with a Stabilo and then my water brush just to give it some edge. And now I'm making the front of the book. I absolutely love the front of this book, and I'm seriously considering deconstructing the whole thing just so I can keep that as like a little separate tag and put it, in my craft space where I can see it. And I also just like the title of it. So there we have it. Oh, no, there's that. We're not done. Sorry. I'm just going around the edge with this Stabilo and some my water brush just to darken it up a little bit. And now here we have it. Now you can see everything kind of folds nicely. It's not really loose. It's still kind of tight, and I'm not worried about it coming apart. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had a good time. I will see you next time.